Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center. Man, as you can see by the title, I ain't gonna waste our time. We're gonna get straight into this. Today, we're gonna be doing an evaluation of Travis Hunter. So this is a video that I have been waiting to make. I've been waiting to kind of take a detailed look at Travis and see what all he brings to the game, and from a more detailed perspective, and to see how it would translate over to the NFL. So we're gonna get straight into it, man. Travis he's an interesting individual, man. Like I say, man, he's a good corner, he's a good receiver. He's just what you call a good football player. You know what I mean? And the biggest debate is trying to figure out, okay, he can't do both. That's what everybody's saying, and that's pretty much what all of us feel like to a degree, right? But we're trying to figure out, okay, where does he excel at? And in my opinion, I think that he excels at a receiver, and this is the reason why. I feel like as a receiver, there's so much different. It's so much that goes into being a good receiver. In terms of you not necessarily having to be the fastest. I don't know, being a receiver, because you're only running, fast for short. Well, it's basically like burst, acceleration, that's covering, 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards, and he's pretty good after the catch as well. Whereas with corner, obviously as corner, man, you gotta be pretty, fluent in your hips. He has great ball skills and instinct, so I will give him that. But he just doesn't really have the best overall top end speed. And just think about going to the next level. The receivers you're going to have to deal with, the JJs, the Tyreek Hills, Justin Jefferson, for those who don't know, the Tyreek Hills, those guys like that, they can really, Jamar Chase, they can really fly down the field, and they can eat up a lot of yards very quick. It would be a little difficult, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just gonna kind of jump into things that stands out to me from the receiver perspective and defensive back perspective if it's in this video. So one of the biggest things that obviously as a receiver we always talk about is catch radius, and obviously when we think about catch radius, we always think that the bigger the receiver is, the bigger their catch radius, which is true enough. Obviously they're longer guys. He has a pretty good long frame, so he has a pretty good catch radius. But I would say two things that Travis Hunter excels at is ball skills, being able to play the ball in the air, and I think that's what helps him also being a defensive back, and then being able to adjust his body to some catches, man. Like even the play right here, being able to go up, catch the ball, and then be aware to get both feet down. Like even you look at it from a college standpoint, bam, 1 foot, that's touchdown. NFL, that's not. But you see that he was able to get 1 foot down. Watch. He got the first one, bam, bam. NFL, that's a touchdown as well. So that's those are two things that he excels at, is his body control, his ball skills, and his being able to adjust to passes. So when you have a receiver like that, that okay, if I got to get this throw out a little bit quicker because of the rush, I'm comfortable with kind of putting it in certain positions because I know that he's one of those guys that's gonna find a way to make that play happen. All I got to do is put it within his circumference, and he's gonna take care of the rest. So a few things on this play right here, man. This play tells a lot. So for one, you look at the gotta have it moment. They're on 3rd and goal. Obviously, if they don't score, they still get a field goal. But when you get in the red area, field goals are not the goal. The goal is to come up with 6 points, a touchdown. So you will settle if need be. But for the most part, like they say, we don't get paid to kick field goals. We get paid to score touchdowns. Let's just be completely honest with you. So when you look at the simple fact that they had a success rate on 3rd down, and then I always look at, okay, these are, like I say, this is a tell to a player's greatness, right? If you are a receiver or if you're a running back and you constantly have plays that's called for you on 3rd down, that shows how much trust that offense has in you, because you're their go-to guy. Whenever we need to make a play happen, we're saying, hey, what do we do when we need a play to be made? Let's go to our playmakers. So when you get those 3rd down plays, those gotta have it moments, that's what stands out to me. And this was another one of them. But then also too, being that this is the red area, when you get down up this close, everything is much more confined and tight. So now you don't have opportunities to get, all this 5 or 6 yard separation between a defender if you're a receiver, because everything is so bunched up now. So you have to be able to maneuver and to operate in tight spaces, just like he was able to do here. So once again, like I say, man, ball skills is phenomenal. Being able to play the ball and being able to adjust to the ball based on where it was thrown at. And when you have a receiver like this, you don't have to have pinpoint accuracy. Obviously, in certain situations, you do want accuracy to get your receivers opportunity to run after the catch. But in situations like this, to try to put the ball in a position to where only the receiver has a shot at making the catch, but being able to adjust to those crazy throws from weird angles and weird positioning, that's something that Travis Hunter thrives at, and he has a very high success rate at that. And that's one of the things. That's why I say that I do believe receiver would be his best suit. So one thing that you will hear me say whenever it comes to evaluating players, whether it's the quarterback position, wide receiver position, tight end position, et cetera, is being able to play on script and off script. So right here, Travis Hunter does a good job at playing off script. So some of y'all might be wondering, okay, what does playing off script mean? Playing off script, right? Every time you draw up a play and we go and line up, these are the things that we need for this play to work. Right. So we need to hold up in pass protection. We need to be able to allow our receivers opportunities to separate from the defenders in order to make these plays work. But we all know, especially going to the next level in the National Football League, it doesn't always go like that. There's going to be times where the quarterback might, the pocket might be collapsing. Now he's forced to have to try to roll out to buy himself some time. So now your thing is, OK, now we're off script. Let me identify my quarterback is on the move now, right? So now let me give my quarterback a target to throw it. So originally, if my route was this, it looks like it was an out route, which was initially covered. And guess what? Now it's my job to reroute myself. So it's almost like when you look at guys like Travis Kelce that have the option of running those option routes, whether just depending on the leverage and how the defensive player plays it, he's able to run whatever route fits what he's going up against. That's the same thing. Whenever you have a quarterback that's rolling out the pocket, trying to extend the play, now as a receiver, you need to make sure that you can give your quarterback a target downfield. So now you have to reroute yourself. And we always talk about how the fade, the back shoulder pass is an undefendable pass. Like when people say, what's the hardest route to guard? And I would say whenever you got a receiver that's able to play off script, initially running a route and that didn't work, now he can just kind of play sandlock ball. That's very hard to deal with. Something else you would like to see from your receiver, especially going to the next level, is what can they do after they catch the ball? Obviously, catching the ball is one phase to it, but what can they do after catching the ball? So if you look at this play right here, another thing that stands out to me about Travis Hunter too is his catching ability. If you look at Travis, a lot of the times when he's making catches, he's catching it with his hands. He's not relying on his body to secure the catch. Granted, there's a time and a space for that, but then I just feel like attacking the ball also gives you opportunities for yards after the catch. So you see how he was able to catch the ball, square up, make one guy miss, come back, make another guy miss, and then look at the strong finish. Going back to the fundamentals with the strong finish. Obviously, looking at the situation too, is 2nd and 11, and him playing it that way puts his team in a much better position to get that third down conversion. And even if you don't get it by being so short, we also have an opportunity to go for it on 4th down if we need be based off the situation. But obviously here they didn't need that against Colorado State, but giving your team that option. And then, like I say, look at the strong finish. When he go down and dip down like that and get his pad level down, it makes it much harder to try to strip the ball now because you kind of got your shoulder pads covering up the ball. So it secures the ball in a sense, and it prevents potential punch outs. Y'all already know what type of moment this is, man. Another one of those gotta have it moments. 3rd and long, a play need to be made. Who we going to? Our playmaker, which in this case is Mr. Travis Hunter. Now, I really don't know what type of defense that they was in. All I seen was just him running free and Shedeur having to heave the ball up there and him being able to once again make adjustments to make a difficult catch. Whereas you have some receivers that if the pass isn't idealistic for them, they're probably not going to give effort. This is one of the things I've seen that I've seen so far with Travis. He's going to give a very, very good effort to make the catch, regardless of how difficult, of how hard it is, regardless of what angle he's having to try to make it from, which is what he does right here. Makes a spectacular diving catch. So that's why I say his ball skills to play the ball in the air and then being able to adjust to the ball and secure the catch is something that is, rarely seen. So we have another one of those situational moments. So I always analyze the situation to see when are these plays being made. That's a deciding factor. Like I say, everybody can make a play on first down. Everybody can make a play on 2nd down. But those 3rd downs and those 4th downs is if necessary, especially if you're a top guy and defenses are probably trying to key in on you and double team you to stop you from being able to make conversions and be a playmaker. That's what I'm looking at. And you see this game right here. Obviously, at this point, it's a tied ball game, 31-31 in overtime. It's 2nd down, but at the same time, you want to put yourself in a good position to possibly score. So, if you don't make this conversion, then guess what? You got to be sitting here for 3rd and 5, and then you got to ask yourself, if we don't get it on 3rd down, are we willing to just kick the field goal and rely on our defense, or do we want to put a dagger on them, which is a very difficult situation because if you don't get it, now you put yourself in a bad position. But you look at, once again, those gotta have it moments. Who do you go to? Your playmakers. Now I'm paying attention to, once again, his catch rate is. When I've been so far since we've been evaluating Travis Hunter, a lot of these catches that this guy is making, there aren't catches, and I'm not saying there's nothing to Shedeur despite Shedeur, but these aren't catches that he's making that the ball is placed right there between the numbers. This dude is having to go out and make and adjust to make these catches. But like I say, once again, the ball skills and the vision to kind of anticipate where the ball is going and being able to make those adjustments on the fly, man, is very difficult to do, because I know that in highlights, especially how I break it down, because I kind of have it in slower motion, it doesn't look as fast, but in real game time situation, man, the speed, the game is moving so fast. So to be able to make those adjustments on the fly, that's very, very impressive. That's why I say, like, this guy's catch radius is insane. And then not only that, just his playmaker, man, his playmaking ability. I think that he's a competitor. Ultimately, it's two things that I say that regardless of position that you can look at and try to analyze and get an understanding of who a player is. And those two things are effort, because effort is free. How much effort do you give? Do you give effort even if you feel that the catch is uncatchable, right? And then the ultimate thing is consistency. You got some guys who might come out and perform good for 1 game, 2 games, and then the next 5 or 6 games, you would think that they was hurt. You wouldn't even think that they was on the field. And I think that week in and week out, he's able to show up. And I think from play to play, from offense, defense, or whatever that's asked of him, he's going to give high level effort to it. This is another one of those situational gotta have it moments, man. You 4th and 8. If you don't get this, man, your opponent is starting off with pretty good field position, close to already to 50. And, sometimes if your defense haven't been playing the way that you need them to play, you don't really want to put them in that compromising position. But then when you got that guy to where you can say he down there somewhere, he going to make a play for us like Travis Hunter, he's going to do exactly that. You see, he does a good job at going up over 2 defenders to high point the ball and coming down with a secure catch. But like I say, the catch is phenomenal too, but look at the moment. That's why I say the level of competitiveness for him, there's no moment that's too big. For him, it's execution regardless. You know what I mean? Whether it's a top tier team or if it's a top, at the bottom team, the goal is the same thing. And that's to go out to compete and to dominate. And like I say, man, the effort that he gives play to play, it's a lot to like about that. So we're going to end it off with this play right here. And this is just simply him being a playmaker. It's a screen route. They just throwing a quick pass, get the ball in his hands, and allow him to do Travis Hunter things. And that's what I was saying. One of the things I do love about him is his yards after the catch ability. He's very good at that. He's very elusive. He has a good ability to stop and start and not really lose speed whenever he's making his moves, his juke moves. We've seen that over the course of this highlight video, him being able to do that. Once he's catch the ball, if he has enough time for the ball to get to him and he can react, depending on the ball placement, he can make guys miss consistently in space. He's one of those guys that, now obviously in the NFL level, it'd be a little bit more different, but at the same time, he's still going to have the same success in terms of things that he done in college, because at the end of the day, he's still a playmaker. You know what I mean? You can't say that, it was because he was going up against less competition. It might not be the SEC, but these are still top tier teams that programs that he was going up against. So I would say that it's a few things, maybe 2 things that I would have liked to see that I didn't have enough, that I didn't see within the highlight film. You probably got to actually go watch game film to be able to see that. One of them is his ability to block, his physicality. Is he physical? Can he contribute in the run game? Obviously, he's going to have to pack on more size on the next level to be able to do that. But that's one thing I would love to see. And also, I would have loved to kind of seen his route running ability. Like I said, for the most part, it looked like a lot of what he done was him just, making catches and getting yards after the catch, just being a playmaker. So that's something that I want to be able to see from him, because going to the next level, you're going to have to be a good route runner to be able to separate from those cornerbacks, because separation that you're getting in college, you ain't going to be getting consistently week to week in the NFL. So your route running ability is most definitely going to have to be pretty effective, especially if you don't have just ridiculous top end speed. Things I like about him, like I say, man, his competitiveness and his effort that he gives, those are things that, kind of can't be taught. And those are things that he possesses. And I think think that's what really makes him him, is all of that. There's a lot of guys that might be faster than him, stronger than him, a better route runner than him, but they don't have that competitive edge that he has. They don't know how to go to that spot and block out everything else and show up and show out in the, the biggest stages, the biggest moment, in those gotta have it moment, those third down, fourth downs. That's something that a lot of people don't possess. Obviously his catch ability, his catch radius, how he's able to make a lot of, draw dropping catches and adjustment to bad passes, not throwing those shots that Shedeur. Like obviously he was throwing from a clouded pocket most of the time, but having a guy like Travis Hunter, it makes up, and it's you're able to do with it to a degree, so it doesn't be as bad as it would have been if you didn't have a guy like that can consistently make plays for you. But I'm probably gonna do a separate video kind of looking at him as a corner as well. But I think his biggest strength, honestly, is him at receiver. Realistically, let me know what you guys think about that, and if you think that truly he's going to be able to play both sides, let me know, and let me know why you think that. I'm curious to hear your opinion on that. But man, that is it for this video. If you did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you got that notification bell turned on. That way you will see whenever I upload a new video, because I got these videos dropping back to back, man, so you don't want to miss that. Stay tuned, and I'll see y'all in the next video.